anyways, Lindsay, you let me know if you have a question. You're going through a rough patch, as people do with your boyfriend. So you need some reassurance. It will be okay. I got you. I got you. Let us see what's going on. I'm gonna be so honest here. It's looking like a struggle. Like, I can't, like, I wish I could give you some reassurance that everything's gonna be okay, that everything's gonna be fine, but there's this real good chance that you may need to, like, create space in that relationship, potentially even walk away, right? And the main reason I say this is, like, not only do we have this Ten of Swords card in the reverse, which is a card where it's like, okay, a situation has taken everything from us, it's drained us completely, it's left us in this place where we feel really depleted, and like we have nothing left to give, right? And so when this card comes, you need to, like, walk away, in a sense. You need to, like, take a step back so that way you can refocus on yourself, make sure that you're doing okay mentally, physically, and emotionally, right? On top of that, we also have the Devil card here, which sometimes is a card of manipulation and control, but other times this card can be a card of self-sabotage, you know, and like you causing your own demise. Regardless, though, there's a need to break free from those things, from whatever's manipulating you, controlling you, breaking free from the self-sabotaging behaviors, you know, and leaving that in the past. And in order to do this, there needs to be space. In order to do that, you have to, like, take that step back so that way you can rework on yourself, you know? So it may not be like, okay, the relationship is over. It could just be you guys are going through a really, really rough patch. And in order to fix what's happening, you guys are going to need space in order to fix it. We also have the Five of Cups in the reverse. The Five of Cups is really good at focusing on all of the negative. It's really good at not realizing or noticing the good things that's happening, because it's easy to, like, see the bad things. It's easy to be like, well, this is wrong and that is wrong, but sometimes we need to put in the work to notice the good that's happening, you know? And that's what this card says. It says, hey, there are good things that are also happening, and it's time for you to actively put in the work to try and notice those things, or else all you're ever going to see is the negative and the bad, and it's going to create this negative energy around you, and nothing's ever going to be good, you know? But regardless, there is a lot of chaos and there's a lot of overwhelmingness and stress right here, because the Knight of Swords in the reverse, it's chaos, it's stress. It feels very overwhelmed, and sometimes it doesn't feel like it can handle all of the stress and chaos that's being presented with it, which is why there's that need to take that step back and be like, okay, let me recenter myself, let me refocus on myself, you know? And I also think that there's a need to, like, work over some fears, really, because the Nine of Wands here, it's a card where it's like you let your fears dictate your decisions, and you kind of create this wall where you don't let anyone in, or you don't let anyone get to really know you, which creates a distance, you know? So it's like we have to work over fears, we have to let people in, because that's part of the self-sabotaging behaviors, you know? I want to say that there's a chance that you guys are going to be okay. It's going to be rough, for sure. A lot of work, definitely, like, feeling super drained and feeling like things are going horrible, but I think that's just because there's that need to work on yourself. That's really what that is. There's that need to, like, work on yourself and fix the self-sabotaging behaviors. That's all it is. But I think you'll be okay. Beans, yes. We've been together for 7 years, and I know he's your person, but things are rough right now. We both need to work on ourselves, yeah. I really do think that you guys just need a little bit of space from each other. And once you guys get the chance to work on yourselves, you know, and work on those self-sabotaging behaviors, you guys are probably going to be fine. Get one on my personal growth. Intriguing. Number one, I'm gonna just tell you this right now. You're not gonna see much happen in the realm of your personal growth journey. You know, like, not many actionable things, honestly. And the main reason I say that is because we have the Hangman right here. But the main reason why you don't see any actionable things happen is because there's a need to change your perspective, you know? Like, the biggest thing holding you back in getting what you want and trying to change and working on yourself is your point of view, is the way that you're looking at yourself, is the way that you're looking at the situation. And I feel like that's deeply tied to your self-confidence, to your self-love, those things. And I think that's probably what you need to work on. And the main reason why I say that is because we have the Magician in the reverse. And the Magician in the reverse does not believe in its abilities to create change. Like, it sucks at self-confidence. It sucks at being able to, like, really feel assured in itself, you know? And self-confidence most of the time is tied to self-love, self-compassion, and all of those things. So that would be the first place that I would say that you start. Self-confidence, self-love, self-compassion, being kinder to yourself. Sometimes we are our biggest enemies, where we're just constantly beating ourselves up and spewing negative things to ourselves. You know, we're constantly bringing ourselves down. Like when we try and do something, we're like, I can't do that. I'm not ever going to be able to achieve that, you know? And we cut ourselves off before we even really get started. We also have the Two of Wands here in the reverse. And the problem with the Two of Wands here is the Two of Wands is really bad at making a decision. Like it does this thing where it just kind of like doesn't choose to do anything. It's like, well, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that. And what happens is because it's a little bit too scared to make the wrong choice, it ends up in this state where it doesn't pick any choice, which is still the wrong choice. So this card is like, okay, regardless, you're going to have to like choose something. Regardless, you're going to have to like just decide to do it. You know, you can't just sit in the sidelines and be like, well, maybe something will happen. This is one of those things where you have to take charge and really just put yourself out there, you know, just be dedicated to it. And so like actionable things, you know, you're not going to be able to do much of those. I really do think what you probably need to work on right now is that self-confidence, self-love, and self-compassion at this moment in time. Does that make sense? For what's coming for work? Okay. This is giving me like protect yourself vibes. Honestly, this is giving me like there are some people around you who don't want the best for you, who like if they get the chance they would probably bring you down just to lift themselves up, which is why we have the Emperor here. Like the Emperor, he has a really strong foundation, but more than that, he's protected. He's ready for anything. Like you see the suit of armor under his robe, like he's prepared for whatever may come. And I feel like that's the vibe that you need right now. You need to just like watch who you're talking to, watch what information you give. We have the Hermit here also in the reverse, which is a card of isolation, which is a card where you kind of like withdraw a little bit. And when you withdraw a little bit, you do tend to feel a little bit isolated and like lonesome, and like you don't have anyone who you can really connect to. But I feel like right now that's important, just because you may not know who you can genuinely trust right now. Because right now we have the Judgment in the reverse, and the Judgment in the reverse is like you're misreading a situation, you've misjudged people and or things, and soon you're going to see what you've misjudged, you know, which is why that protection key, which is why that keeping to yourself is kind of important, because it's going to come to light that some people were not genuine, that some people were not honest, and they probably never had your best interest at heart. So I would be a little bit careful, you know, because if they got the chance, they would bring you down in a heartbeat, you know, no hesitations, no questions asked. So like keeping to yourself a little bit is important. How intriguing. The reason why I'm like so intriguing is because we got the Queen of Cups in the reverse and the Magician in the reverse, which is like a very interesting combo, right? So the Queen of Cups in the reverse is a card that lacks self-worth. Like it doesn't value itself, it doesn't respect itself. Oh, the DoorDasher makes sense. And what happens is, if you don't value yourself, if you don't respect yourself, then how can you expect anyone else to value you and respect you? You know, like you have to know your worth. Even if it's like fake confidence, you need the confidence, okay? And then the Magician in the reverse also lacks confidence. It lacks its ability to get things done. It lacks its ability to believe in itself, you know? And so both of these cards together just says that you need to work on your confidence, your self-worth, your self-value, and you need to let that shine through. If you want to improve, if you want to succeed in the workplace, then those are some of the things that you're going to need to work on in order to be better, in order to get the recognition you want, in order to get the promotions you want, in order to make more. Those are some of the things that you're going to need to work on, because if you try and really do anything right now, it's not going to happen. Like we have the Three of Wands in the reverse, and the problem with this card is it always says that even if you tried to put in the energy and work right now, you wouldn't see anything manifest, because the foundation of where you're at, it's not fertile. You can't build anything on that ground, which could mean two things. It could mean because of the lack of self-confidence and the lack of self-respect, you are unable to build anything, or the job that you're in doesn't allow you to grow. It doesn't allow you to succeed and work on yourself, which would mean in order for you to gain those things, you'd need to move jobs. Is really what that is. But I would say that those are probably some of the biggest things that you would need to work on in order for you to really succeed and get the things that you want. Honestly, you just want to be where you're at. You don't have to grow. You don't have to get bigger. That may one day change, you know? That may one day, you may be like, actually, I feel like I want to do something more. even if that's not right now. Regardless, these are aspects that you're going to need to work on, because even if you don't have that self-confidence and self-respect and self-worth, someone's going to see that, and what they're going to do is they're going to take your spot. They're going to be like, okay, I'm just gonna insert myself here where you're at and bring you down. And that's the main reason why we need to fix this. Even if you're like, well, I'm happy where I'm at right now, which is perfectly fine. It's supposed to be upside down. Fun facts. No. The short answer to that question is no. Give me 2 seconds, and then I will explain. So the main reason why I say no is if we're just looking for yeses or nos, aces will give you that, right? Aces in the upright, usually yeses. Aces in the reverse are usually nos. This card in particular is a card where you just feel really drained, where your job ends up taking too much from you and not giving you enough emotional value, you know? Especially with nurses, like that happens a lot, where you just feel depleted, where you feel drained, where it's not giving you enough value, you know? And what it really could be is it could be like change in management, the people around you, they just start making you feel more drained than what you need, you know? And it might not be the occupation itself, it may be the job environment that's not satisfying you anymore. The other reason why we say that is because we have the Eight of Cups here in the reverse, and the Eight of Cups is a card where you have to leave a situation because it's not making you happy, it's not bringing you any fulfillment, it's not adding to your life, and so you have to walk away to find something that will add you to your life, that will bring you that sense of happiness and accomplishment, you know? And honestly, in this choice of like trying to stay, trying to go, there's going to be this thing where it's like you feel really conflicted, where it's like part of you wants to stay, part of you wants to go, and you're like, well, should I go, should I stay? And there's going to be an internal struggle and an internal battle that happens, and that's going to be something that you're having to work with, which is the short reason of like why you're going to move. OMG, here I am. See, I could have told you that. Hello. My question is, what do people want to say to me that they are afraid to tell me? How intriguing. Number one, like, stop. Okay, we have the, I didn't want to say it like that because I felt like that was mean. We have the Nine of Swords here, right, which is the anxiety card, which is the card that's constantly in its head. It's overthinking things consistently, and just basically causing its own demise, right? So this is one of those cards where it's like, hey, stop overthinking, stop giving yourself anxiety, stop being in your head so much, you know, come back to reality is really what that is. And then we also have the Death card here, which is a card that says you need to move on. You need to let go of things that are holding you back, that are bringing you down, that are no longer allowing you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So it's time to move on and transition into a new phase of life, you know? And then I think this one is funny because it's the World card here, and the World card is a card where it's like, it's just happy and content and like full of peace, right? So like this card as a card where it's like, what do people want to say to me, is a card where it's like, just be happy, just be content, just live your best life. And imagine someone telling you that, you know? Imagine someone just being like, just be happy. I don't think it works like that. But that card is a card where it like just feels very whole, you know? But obviously there are things keeping you from achieving that, and the main thing is like, have less anxiety, get out of your head, and also move on from things that you're holding on to, that are holding you back. Does that make sense?